Barnaby and the Wonderful Bone. In the cozy little town of Pausburg lived a cheerful dog named Barnaby. Barnaby was a collector. His little cottage was filled with his favorite treasures: a shiny blue marble, a feather from a jaybird, a twisty stick that looked like a snake, and a bottle cap that gleamed like silver. Of all the places in Pausburg, Barnaby loved the town square. It was always bustling with friends. There was Beatrice the badger, who baked the most delicious bread, and Professor Hoot, an owl who knew almost everything. Barnaby's best friend was a tiny field mouse named Squeaky. Squeaky didn't care for shiny treasures. He believed the best things in life were a crumb of good cheese and a warm, sunny spot for a nap. One morning, Barnaby saw Beatrice the badger struggling with a heavy sack of flour. "Let me help you, Beatrice," he barked cheerfully, and using all his strength, he helped her push the sack into her bakery. "Oh, thank you, Barnaby," Beatrice said, dusting the flour from her apron. "You are such a kind friend. I have a special treat for you." She disappeared into her shop for a moment. She returned with the most wonderful bone Barnaby had ever seen. It was big and juicy, with tasty-looking bits still on it. It smelled of savory roast and pure delight. "This is for you," she said. Barnaby's eyes went wide. He had never owned such a magnificent treasure. Thank you," he wagged, his whole body wiggling with joy. He took the bone gently in his mouth. He paraded his new treasure through Pausburg. "Look, Squeaky," he mumbled around the bone. "Isn't it perfect?" Squeaky sniffed it. "It's very big, Barnaby," he said. "Are you going to share?" "Share it? Oh no," Barnaby said. "This bone is too special. It's the best treasure I've ever had. I need to find the perfect place to enjoy it all by myself." He passed by Professor Hoot, who was perched on a signpost. "A fine prize, Barnaby," hooted the owl. "But remember, a treasure in the paw is worth two in the water." Barnaby didn't understand what he meant and just wagged his tail. Barnaby left the town and trotted into the sunny meadows. He needed a spot that was just right. The field was too open. The forest was too dark. He wanted a place as special as his bone. At last, he came to a clear, calm stream. A little wooden bridge crossed over the water. "Aha," Barnaby thought. "This is it. The perfect place." The sun was warm, the water gurgled peacefully, and no one was around. He started to walk across the bridge, his claws making a soft clack-clack sound on the wood. He was so happy. He glanced down into the water to admire the view. But what was this? He stopped and stared. Looking back up at him from the water was another dog, and that dog had a bone too. Barnaby squinted. The water made everything shimmer and wave. From where he stood, the bone in the other dog's mouth looked even bigger, even shinier, and even juicier than his own. "Wow," Barnaby thought, a greedy feeling bubbling in his chest. "That bone is incredible. It's even better than mine. It would be the ultimate treasure for my collection." He forgot about his own perfect bone. He forgot about Beatrice's kindness. All he could think about was the other, better, bone in the water. He decided he must have it. He thought that if he gave a loud, fierce bark, he could scare the other dog into dropping its bone, and then he could have both. So Barnaby took a deep breath and opened his mouth wide. "Woof!" he barked, a loud and demanding sound. But as he barked, his own wonderful bone fell from his mouth. It tumbled through the air and landed in the stream with a loud plop. The splash broke the reflection. The other dog and the other bone vanished instantly. Barnaby watched in horror as his own real, wonderful bone sank quickly to the bottom of the stream and was washed away by the current. Now he had nothing. There was no other dog. There was no other bone. There was only him, standing alone on the bridge, sadder and hungrier than he had been all day. Slowly and with a heavy heart, Barnaby walked back home. His tail, which was always so happy and high, now dragged on the ground behind him. He finally understood what Professor Hoot had meant. When he opened the door to his cottage, he saw a tiny figure waiting for him. It was Squeaky. "I was worried, Barnaby," the little mouse said. "I saved you a crumb of my cheese." Barnaby looked at his little friend. He looked at his cozy home and his simple treasures on the shelf. He realized his greed had cost him a wonderful bone, but it had not cost him what was truly important. A good friend and a warm home were the best treasures of all, and that was more than enough